up, guys? Today we're checking out a preloaded Skar audio enclosure. This is the SDR 12 enclosure. A lot of guys just don't want the fuss of buying a box, buying a sub. Maybe they don't have tools if they have to cut the opening out larger for a sub when buying a prefab. So this is just an easy way to go. Skar audio always has very good quality, and I was actually surprised. This is the first prefab box that I had got from Skar. It has really nice heavy duty terminals. They're not cheap and wonky like most. This box is 3/4 MDF. The face is dual 5/8, so 1.25 inches, and it is routed out, so it has a recess for the sub to sit down in. The other thing that was cool, they give you hex nuts, hex head screws with the 3-prong nuts, so they're not just screwed into the wood with drywall screws. They actually have nice steel nuts behind there, which is a really cool feature. The standard, Skar SDR 12, which is a great, budget entry-level sub. If you listen to, rap and rock and whatnot. But we'll see how it sounds when we get it hooked up. It does have a port that's curved, so it's got a small curved port on the front, but overall looks really nice. We'll get it hooked up in a little bit. The one thing that I wanted to note for you guys on this box is Skar says it's 2 cubic feet net, and I've seen the listings change wherever you buy it from, so I think it's just typos. But where we purchased this from, it said 2 cubic foot net, and we calced it out, and it's about 2 cubic foot gross. So net on this is actually about 1.6. So just FYI, most of you guys are going to buy this and it's preloaded, so you're not going to worry about putting another sub in there, but just if you wanted to know. The other thing is we went ahead and verified the tuning on this. So with a DATS unit and a calibrated microphone, because we have come across a lot of boxes that are built by custom builders and just prefab boxes in general, and the port's not tuned to what they say, and that I'm not going to blame the box builders, but that's because a lot of the software, especially even the popular software that you pay for, it calculates the port tuning incorrect, especially for slot ports and L slot ports. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what readings we got on the actual port tuning. Okay guys, so here we have the DATS unit, and we show the reading that we get, which shows basically the impedance curve of the speaker in the box. But what this does show, as far as the DATS goes, is 26.92 hertz is what the DATS is telling us that the box is tuned to. So, and the DATS, like I said, usually gets you within 2 or 3 hertz. It's not always spot on, but it's pretty accurate. I tend to believe the calibrated microphone the best, so let's take a look at that and see what we get on the calibrated microphone. Okay guys, so with the calibrated microphone, this is actually set up this is a microphone specially designed. It'll go from like 10 hertz to over 20,000 hertz. So this is telling us what frequency is coming out of that port. So if we take a look at the graph, we can see that the microphone is telling us that we're getting about 24.74 hertz out of the port. The other signals past that, up in the 50 hertz range, are the overtones coming from the woofer. But we can definitely see that the port is 24.74 hertz. So it's definitely pretty far off from the 34 hertz that the box is specified at, but I just wanted to give you guys that information. Also, I highly recommend for you guys that are really into car audio to pick up a DATS unit or even one of these calibrated microphones. I'll put a link down below in the description. They're not that expensive. They take a little while of practice to get used to them, but they're a great tool. If you ever wonder what your box tuning is, or your frequency response. They're super handy to have, and then you always know exactly what your box is tuned at, whether you buy a custom box or you're building your own. So they're really handy. Again, the links are in the description below. So let's go ahead and move on and get this thing going. Okay, so that was just some information for you guys. So the next thing is, let's get it out and get it hooked up and see how it sounds. We haven't listened to this sub yet, so we have no idea how good it's going to be or what it's going to sound like or the sound characteristics. So let's go check it out. Okay guys, we got this Skar SDR 12 preloaded box hooked up and ready to go. So let me show you guys what it can do, and then we will go from there. So here we go. Hang tight. So as you can see, it pumps pretty good. It moves a lot. It's kind of a softer suspension woofer, so it moves a lot. It will bottom out if you push it too hard, but it sounds pretty good. I do notice, and you can hear it if you look back on the graph from the calibrated microphone, it's tuned so low since they tuned it below 30 hertz that there's kind of a gap between like 30 and 40 hertz where it's kind of quiet, and I can definitely hear that because there's actually a lot of good, you know, bass around like 40, 38 hertz that I can tell it's kind of lacking a little bit, but it goes pretty deep. It sounds pretty good, honestly. I would say if you listen to rock with like double bass or fast kick drum, that it's very slow responding. The transient response isn't very good. It starts to get really muddy with a lot of like heavy rock music. But if you listen to rap or country or stuff with just, you know, slow kick drum, it can keep its composure and it sounds good. It's pretty loud for, you know, not a high wattage 12, and even though they tune the box super low, like under 30 hertz, it still sounds pretty good. I think it would sound better if the box was tuned a little higher, because that would fill in those gaps between 30 and 40 hertz a little better. But overall, it sounds pretty good. So like I said, if you listen to just like country or rap, I think it's good. I think if you listen to rock, maybe you should look at something else. Like I said, it gets pretty muddy with anything with double bass. It's not very accurate. So on the fast stuff, it's not a super accurate sub. But for 150 bucks, it's very good quality. Goes pretty deep, moves some air, you know, it's rattling stuff pretty good, so it definitely is an impactful sub. So I think it's a great deal. The box is really well built. Just keep in mind the specs are off, which happens a lot, you know, on these prefab boxes and boxes, but overall, very nice sub. So you really can't go wrong for 150 bucks. Like I said, if you listen to like country or rap music, it sounds really good. So I was overpowering it a little bit, but I was just I had set the gains already to where they weren't that high, but I was definitely bottoming it out when I was pushing it too far. But so it's not an insane sub, but for the daily driver, you know, it does sound pretty good, and it does, you know, you can feel it in your chest, and it does have an impact. And this is a full-size SUV. It's a big vehicle, so it's pretty good. All right, guys. Well, I hope you liked the video. Please hit the subscribe button below. Let me know if you have any suggestions of, you know, 4-channel amps or any different subwoofers you'd like me to check out, and I'll try my best to keep that in mind for the next one. Thanks so much, guys.